Hello, everyone. I wanted to take you through a tour of AncestryClassroom.com. It's a little different than Ancestry, but we've received a grant at Dallastown High School to access this from the school and any kind of Wi-Fi within the school. And so you cannot do this at home. You will not be able to access this at home, but you can access this from any part of Dallastown School and own our Wi-Fi. So it's free for us to use, but only for us to use and only here. Now, the purpose here, there's many different purposes, but one thing that I found interesting is trying to find out when my family originally came to America and all different branches of my family. So what I want to do is take you through a tour here, and here's the main page of Ancestry Classroom. I'm going to put in the name of my mom's dad, so my grandfather on that side of the family. His name is Frank Cherkosky, and he lived in Shamokin, Pennsylvania. Now, I originally was unsure of his birth year, and you want to try to be as complete as possible. You want to try to get a place where they might have lived, any place in their entire lifetimes, whether it's where they were born or where they eventually lived later. It doesn't matter, but try to put in some place of where they might have lived, and also try to be specific with their birth year. If it's somebody who's already passed away, put in their death year perhaps, and you can click this button here to show more options, to add more information. The more information, the better. So you can put here, if they have passed away, you can put in their death year, and then you can get a more specific search. When all else fails, when things seem like you can't get anywhere, try to go back and be more specific with your search and see what comes up. But anyway, I stuck with just keeping this simple for now. And so I'll hit the search button. And from here, I receive a decent amount of information about Frank. One thing kind of weird is that they kind of misspelled his name on a World War II draft registration card. And it's whatever, that's okay. They actually did realize that that's him, and that is his birth year. And here's one big thing. Whenever you get nice little pieces of information like this right here, how it has his birth year, write it down, because you're going to have to search some other stuff in the future. And I just found out his exact birth date. So it's the 15th of March in 1884 in Shamokin. So I know he was living in Shamokin when he was born, and that's fantastic. And so I want to take a look through the information and try to figure out as much as I possibly can about Frank. Now I will head to this one here. I've already been through this, so I know what I'm looking for. But what I'm trying to find is when he came to America. And I found this one here. This is his death certificate. So this actually shows what he passed away from. And I'll open this up, and sometimes you can actually view some of the resources here. So I'll view it, and you can see that this is his actual death certificate, Frank Anthony Cherkosky. He was born March 15th of 1884, and he passed away on January 11th, 1957. Again, this is my great-grandfather. And it actually shows me here that he passed away from a coronary occlusion. So I'm supposing that he had a heart attack, which might be interesting if you want to know your family's health history as well. So this is a little way to get it. And he was a coal miner in Shamokin, and then he owned his own grocery store. So it tells me a little bit of history there. But also I see this. Here's his dad's name, and here's his mom's name. And I want to show you this as well. Here again on this page, I have dad's name and mom's name and his spouse's name, and this is her maiden name here as well. Now, I can take you back to Matthew just by clicking on this. What I did find already is Matthew doesn't have a ton of records. And this is really just the same record as I just seen. So I want to back out. And one big thing you want to do from here is go through each one of these suggested records and see if there's anything that can help you dig deeper and go further back in your history. I actually can click on this one, and I can see his gravesite. And I can go to this one, where it was that Frank Cherkosky one, and I can see his World War II draft registration card. And I can open it up, Crazy. He was actually 58 when he got drafted into the military, and he did actually serve in World War II. Pretty crazy. That's another tie into history, and that's one of the things we want to find through this, is to see how our families were in any way related to the history of our country. Now, I'm going to cut it to the chase and tell you that the search for Frank and his father and his mother came up a little bit short for me on some of this stuff. But here's what I did, and I found exactly what I was looking for. I went back to the search up here, and I started over. I started with his mother, with Frank's mother, Teophilia. I'm spelling it here. Different name for me. Husky. And I know she also lived in Shamokin. I wasn't sure of her birth year, but let's see what comes up here. I can actually find, I'm going to go to her death certificate area here. And that doesn't get me too much. Let me go back again. I'll go to suggested records, and we're going to go to the 1900 census. And here's exactly what I wanted to find. They changed her name a little bit. They kind of messed up her name on some of the records of our country, and you'll see that sometimes, is that people would misspell their names or spell it differently. I see that she was born in 1852. She was born in a Polish area of Germany. And what's awesome is I just found on this record that she came here with her husband, Matthias, in 1881. They had gotten married 4 years before this, and they had 14 kids. But it's absolutely crazy. And I found out, I could find out more stuff about her, but at least I found out when part of my family came here to America, and that's what I'm looking for in the first place. That was my original point of searching, but you could find so many little things that are valuable along the way, and I hope you do. So I hope you have a good experience, and always try to use, this is a big thing. When you find something cool like this, write it down, get a record of it. Show it to your parents, show it to whomever you want to that's a relative of yours, a friend of yours, but grab any good information and then use it to then search deeper into your background and find out more stuff. So I'll write down this 1877. If I want to go back to a search, I can add that into the search. I can also write down the names of her kids and any other information, and then I can make a deeper search and possibly find some more background upon my family. In one part of my family, I took it the entire way back to the mid-1600s. So it's amazing how far you can get back if you're lucky. So have a good time and enjoy the project.